It was supposed to be a night of celebration. March 31st, 2006. Brian Shaffer, a 27-year-old medical student, had just finished a brutal week of exams. He was finally on spring break, and to kick it off, he planned a night out with his friends. What happened next still haunts the internet nearly 2 decades later. Because sometime between one drink and the next, Brian disappeared, not just from the bar, but from the world. There were no goodbyes, no signs of struggle, and no footage of him ever leaving the building. He walked into a popular bar in the middle of a crowded city and vanished into thin air. Brian was smart, ambitious. His friends called him easygoing, funny, kind. He was studying at Ohio State's College of Medicine and had dreams of becoming a doctor like his late mother. Just a few weeks before his disappearance, his mom had passed away from cancer. It hit Brian hard. But through it all, he kept pushing forward. He even planned a vacation with his girlfriend to celebrate getting through exams. They were supposed to leave for Miami on April 3rd. But Brian never made the flight. That Friday night, he met up with a friend, Clint Florence, for drinks. They started at a local bar, then made their way to a popular spot called the Ugly Tuna Saloona. Security footage shows Brian entering the bar at 1:15 a.m. He's laughing, smiling. Nothing seems off. But that's the last confirmed image anyone has of him. Because here's the strange part. There's no footage of Brian ever leaving. The bar was on the second floor of a shopping complex. The main entrance was monitored by security cameras. All exits, both front and back, were covered. There's footage of Clint leaving. There's footage of other patrons coming and going. But Brian, he's never seen again. Police reviewed hours of tape, frame by frame. They interviewed bartenders, patrons, friends, and staff. No one remembers seeing him leave. No one reported anything suspicious. No fights, no arguments. Just silence. It was like he stepped into a blind spot in the world. So what happened? There were theories, of course. Maybe he left through a hidden back exit. But that door led to a construction site. Dangerous and hard to navigate, especially while intoxicated. There was no sign of a fall, no blood, no trace of Brian anywhere near the site. Another theory. Maybe he changed clothes and slipped out in disguise. But nothing in the footage shows anyone suspicious. And Brian's distinct build, 6'2", athletic, would have been hard to miss. His bank accounts were untouched. His phone went silent. There was no digital trail, no signs of foul play, and no body was ever found. As days turned into weeks, hope began to fade. Brian's father launched a massive search effort. Billboards went up across Ohio. The case got media coverage nationwide. But nothing ever came of it. Even stranger? Brian's phone rang a few months after he vanished. It was likely a glitch, a signal bounce. But it rang multiple times before going to voicemail. It gave his family hope, then crushed it again. Years later, tragedy struck again. Brian's father was killed in a freak accident. A tree fell on him during a storm. In his obituary, the family left a heartbreaking message. If Brian is still alive, please come home. To this day, Brian's case remains one of the most baffling disappearances in modern history. He entered a bar with hundreds of people, security cameras rolling on a busy night, and vanished. No exit, no trail, no answers, just gone. So, what do people believe? Some say he was the victim of foul play, maybe attacked inside the bar and hidden before police arrived. Others believe he left voluntarily, that the pressure of school and grief over his mom pushed him to start a new life. But if that's true, why hasn't he reached out? Why disappear without a trace? And then there's the uncomfortable idea that Brian never left the building, that something happened in that bar, something no one saw, or someone covered up. But after almost 20 years, the trail is cold, and the mystery is as strong as ever. In 2021, police confirmed they were still receiving tips. Brian's photo was even age-progressed by the FBI. But no new leads have ever turned up. No credible sightings, no solid theories, just a snapshot in time. A smiling young man, stepping into a bar and never stepping out. We don't know what happened to Brian Shaffer, but we know this. Someone, somewhere does. And maybe one day, that someone will finally speak. So what do you think happened? Did Brian choose to vanish? Or did something or someone make that decision for him? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you're drawn to mysteries that feel too impossible to be real, make sure to subscribe. Because this is Digital Detectives.